Hello and welcome back to my sewing corner. If you're new here, you're very much welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming once again. And I hope you find this video useful. And if you do, please don't forget to click on the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please click that red subscribe button. So today, without wasting time, I'm going to be showing us how to make the collar of that dress you can see on the screen. So actually, it's just a simple gown with bell sleeves, and then we're going to be putting a collar. So I'm just going to be focusing on the collar aspect. But if you want the tutorial on the gown and the sleeve, let me know in the comment section. As you can see, I have my gown pattern here. This is the back. I have two pieces. This is the back pattern, as you can see, and this is the front pattern. So now, the cotton for any dress or any shirt that would have a collar is usually different, just a little bit different from the cotton of a normal bodies or a gown. And the major difference is just in the neckline. Okay, because of the collar, you don't want the collar to drop. The collar has to stay on the shoulder line and then cover up your chest line and everything. So the neckline is usually high and the width is usually short. It's not a wide neckline. It doesn't have a wide neckline or a deep neck depth. I recommend that you use a neck width of 3 inches. Let me explain what I mean. So by the time you take your shoulder line, after marking, let me mark your shoulder line from the center line here up to where your armhole curve starts from. That's the shoulder line, yeah. So whatever you're taking from the center line to where your neck will start from, or your neck width, should not be more than 3, or let's say 3.5, depending on your body size. But don't let it get to 4, because if it's too wide, the collar won't stay well. And then for the depth for the front, you can use 3 or 4 inches. Don't make it more than 4 inches. For the back, you can use this. You're going to use the same neck width as used for the front, just 3 inches. But for the neck depth, you can use 1 or 1.5 inches, nothing more than that. So you can choose to put that will make it fitted, or make it an A-line. So that means you had extra allowance for ease if you want an A-line. Okay. And I have a video on hairline dress, so if you want a tutorial on that, I'm going to just link it with this video. Make sure you check it out. That way, you can even get your gown pattern from that tutorial. It's very detailed, and you will understand it better if you watch that video. First thing you're going to do to make your collar, let me tell you, you need to join your shoulder line. That way, you're going to get the actual circumference, or the actual measurements around your neck, both for the front and the back. So I recommend that you first join your front and back neck and shoulder line. Okay, so by the time you join your front and back shoulder line like this, and then you join the other one as well, you're going to join it as well. Exactly. So by the time you join the shoulder line, both neckline will hold together. So after joining it, you're going to measure what you have round. You'll have joined this one, so you measure what you have for the front and the back. If you say you should measure it separately, by the time you join your shoulder line, you can use more than ½ inch or less than. So to be on the safe side, it's better you join your shoulder line first before measuring your neckline for both front and back together. So after measuring it, whatever you get, you measure everything together, then you subtract your zipper allowance, or measure your zipper allowance before measuring. Make sure you mark it out. Okay. And this is the back. These are the 2 back pieces, and I've marked out the zipper allowance. So you start measuring from just after that zipper allowance round, and then you stop here on the second one as well. All right. So whatever you get will be the base of your collar. Now, once you've gotten that, like I said, that's going to be the base of your collar. Now, you want to cut the collar, right? So I'm just going to fold this. So as you can see on the screen, so the collar is in 2 pieces. You have one on the right and one on the left side. So that means you're going to have 2 separate collars. So trying to fold my pattern paper. Now for the 2 things that you need for your collar, you need your collar length and your collar width. Now I've already gotten the width. The width is going to be your neckline that I just explained. And once you have gotten your neckline, then you need to know how long you want your collar to be, the length. So you can use 4 inches. It's almost like the standard. Since we are cutting it separately, I'm going to cut the first one and I'm going to use that to cut the second one. They are the same thing actually. So now we said let's use now let's say the neckline after I've measured this is 12. Let's say it's 12. I'm just using that figure. Whatever you get, please use it too. It's not constant. Just be more than that. If I got 12 round, I'm going to be cutting two separate ones, one for the left, one for the right. So that means I'm going to share the 12 into two, isn't it? So that means I will have what? 6 for one side, 6 for the other side. So that's 6 now because this is on 4. So that means I'll measure was 3 inches. This 3 inches, right? Then you're going to add like 2 inches allowance to it. You can add 3, but let's just stick with 2 inches. Now that is the width. Now let's go to the height. So I said you can use 4 inches for your collar height, or your collar length, however way you say it. So I'm just going to draw straight line so that we can all see that. So we're using 3 plus 2, that's 5. Like I measured here. Oh, sorry. Like I measured it here. So this is everything that my collar will take for one side. Now, this is the center of your collar. As you can see, it's folded. This will fall on your shoulder line because you're having two separate collars now. So this will fall on your shoulder line. As one hand here will be at the center front, the other hand will be at the center back, just after your zipper allowance. By the time I cut it, you will understand. Let me even cut it out so that we don't get confused. Okay, so now this is it. I don't want anybody to be confused with it. So you can take any side that will sit on the neckline. So let's just say that this side will sit on the neckline. You're going to raise this part up a bit so that way it will sit properly. That is, you reduce whatever it is you have it by half or 3/4 inch. So we have 4 inches and that's the length already from start. You can see. So I'm going to reduce it by half inch. Just connect it back to this point here, to the extreme end. That is the center. Please don't forget the folded edge. All right. Now this side will be the one that will sit on the neck line. So you have to make sure you have the actual measurement plus your seam allowance. So you remember we measured what? 12 for the neckline and we shared it 6 for the right, 6 for the left. So that means we still want to get that 3 inches because it's on fold. So you following this curve. Now you're going to follow the curve you've made. Measure your 3 inches. This is what my 3 inches is according to the curve. Now you're going to add 1 inch seam allowance, half inch for both sides. You're going to turn both sides, I hope you know. So that's it. Then you connect this to the extreme end here. Alright? So I'm just going to connect it back to the extreme end over there. Alright, so let me cut it out for us all to see. Okay, so this is what you will get. Okay, let me turn this way. So you're going to cut one more of this for the right side, then you cut lining for it. So you can decide to use the same fabric if you want, but make sure it's the same color of lining. So, but for more stability, use the same fabric that you're using, so that way it even adds to the stability of it. So what I mean is you're going to cut 4 of this. You're using your fabric. Cut 3 more to make it 4, or cut 1 more and then cut 2 of it as lining. Then you get your fusible interfacing just to add it on the main fabric, and then you put your lining. Then you're going to turn this edge. This is the neckline. Please don't forget. This is where we sit on the neckline of your gown. As you can see, that is where we make the alterations. So you don't need to turn that part. You don't have to turn that part. Or the part you need to turn because you're going to be putting the lining. Let me cut another one so that I won't confuse you. So that will explain better with another piece. So now I have the main one, and let's say this is the lining. Okay, so then you put this optional. You can decide to put your interfacing if your fabric is not so stiff. If it's stiff already, it's hard, you don't need interfacing. So we're just going to place right side. Okay, let's say this marks points at the right side. Let them face each other like this because we want to turn. So you're going to sew on the wrong side. You sew from this edge. This is the neckline, please don't forget the curved one. That's the neckline. That is where we sit on the neckline. So you're going to sew this edge on. Remember, you gave it 1 inch allowance. So you're going to sew up to this point, all right? Then you sew this one, all right? And then you sew and you stop here. When you do that, then you place notches around those points. So you have this neckline opened, so you turn it over. By the time you turn it over, it's ready to be fixed on your bodies. Now, how do you fix it on your bodies? You're going to turn, after you have turned your gown or your bodies or your blouse with your lining, you're going to turn it over to the wrong side and then you start sewing from the wrong side. So you start sewing from the front. So what you're going to do now, you're going to just give it a slight notch, very little notch at the center front so that you'll be able to know where the center front is. So you start sewing from that center front up to the center back here for one of the collar. The same thing you do for the other side. So that's what you're going to do for the collar. And that's it, guys. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comment section. I hope you find this video useful. If you do, please click on the like button. Don't forget to share with your friends as well, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next one.